Masculine traits that don't work well for intuitive businesses or relationships for Six Sensories. So what traits don't work well and are too masculine for both intuitive businesses and for Six Sensories in relationships with Five Sensories? The first component of being too masculine, which doesn't work for either, will be competition. Why does competition consist of a masculine quality to it rather than a feminine quality? Well, by its very nature, there is a winner and a loser. There is this dichotomy of two positions vying for the position to win. And in intuition, we don't really work in absolutes. We don't work in right and wrong. We're not saying that there's no place for right and wrong in society or that people shouldn't be taught right and wrong somewhere. It's just that it doesn't work well for the paradigm of intuition. And when you're operating in feminine energy, you don't want to operate from this either or, black or white thinking process when it comes to either getting along in a relationship or starting an intuitive business. So if you're too black or white, what do you think is going to happen when your partner does something you don't agree with? You are going to probably criticize them and say what they're doing is wrong, right? If you're coming from a masculine perspective. And that will really dampen your relationship with Five Sensories. It's also going to mess up your business as a Six Sensory. If you're constantly telling your clients that they're doing the wrong thing, your clients are probably going to give up on you and not want to talk to you anymore because it's too frustrating. People hate being pointed out that they're doing something wrong. You can kind of allude to it and ask people to take responsibility for their behavior, but that's a bit different than overtly telling them what they're doing is wrong. That's when people get their defenses up, either in business or personal relationships. And then when you're in a competitive model, you're kind of pointing the finger at the other guy and turning them into an enemy. And isn't that what politics is nowadays? It's a very masculine profession. It's like, I'm right and you're wrong. I'm the winner, you're the loser. And we don't operate that way at all in intuitive businesses. We support each other, we raise each other up. And it's the same in our relationships. Like, we're not gonna compete with another Six Sensory over the same Five Sensory partner. We don't believe in that. And we love and support each other instead, right? As Six Sensories, we don't compete for the same person. Five Sensories do enjoy competing. They do like that paradigm. Having said that, that's really up to them if they want to compete for a partner. Like, sometimes they like it and sometimes they don't. But I would say that's really their personal choice, and I know that they enjoy competition. So if they enjoy it and they want to do it, that's really their choice. But I wouldn't force it as a Six Sensory either. I just believe in cooperation and support over competition. However, it's good to be aware that other people do believe in a more masculine model of the world and that there will be people around you who are competitive in your industry when you're starting a business or when you are winning a partner over that could try to potentially steal your business or steal your partner. It doesn't mean you as the intuitive have to operate that way because you're operating on a higher level. You're just aware that there are people around you who are operating on a lower level and you kind of know that they're not your concern because you're on a different level than them. If you see competitive behavior, you understand it for what it is. The next masculine quality that you need to be aware of as a Six Sensory that you don't want to engage in your business or in your personal relationships is peacocking. And what do I mean by that? It's luring people with like a sexy body to come into your world, whether that's through business or whether that's through personal relationships. Now, showing your body a bit just so people get a sense of what you look like before they meet you in person is okay because you just want them to know and not hide anything. Having said that, you don't want to reveal your body too much. You don't want to wear really revealing clothes when you're promoting your business or you are putting up a dating profile of some kind. You just want to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward and you're not sending the wrong message to people when you are putting yourself out there for the world to see. You know, this is a very masculine quality that men will put up photos of themselves that look good to attract women. and you don't really want to engage in it too much as a six sensory partner, because you may potentially get the wrong matches, or you may get the wrong people who want to do business with you. They're really more interested in a personal business rather than the real business that you're trying to create. And so you want to just stay away from being really fancy or really flashy. Actually, you could be creative. There's nothing wrong with being creative. If you want to wear loud colors, you want to have like a creative print or very bright earrings and clothing and stuff, that's totally creative, and that's feminine, and that's intuitive energy, and that's 100% fine. I'm talking about like the overt sexy stuff. I would just leave that out, because when you're putting yourself out there in a sexy way, it's actually kind of a logical strategy. It's a masculine strategy, and it's not really a good intuitive feminine strategy. It's not a good fit for that type of business. Actually, it could work in another type of more masculine business, maybe a fitness business. Having said that, I don't think it's the best fit for a feminine intuitive business, or if you're a feminine intuitive person looking for a partner. The next masculine quality you want to be aware of that doesn't work well for intuitive people or intuitive businesses is the business of trying to save or convert people. And you might think, my religion tells me to save people or convert people. Isn't that a good thing? It's not a good fit for a feminine intuitive business, and it's not a good quality for you to have looking for a partner. You shouldn't be trying to sell your five sensory partner on why they should be with you. They should be wanting to just be with you on their own volition. As for our spiritual senses, you can't force people to feel things. They either feel very deeply empathetic towards others, or they just don't feel it. And you can't force people to feel empathetic. You can't force people to feel a connection with the universe. And if you try to force that, you're going to push them in the other direction. And I think people in religions don't realize that when they're pushing their religion on others. It may have worked hundreds of years ago when people just genuinely didn't know. Having said that, nowadays people know, and when you try to push things on them, they tend to go further away from whatever is being pushed on them. And it couldn't be more true for our deep spiritual senses. People have either woken up and they feel their deep spiritual senses, or they just haven't, and they haven't. Think of the person who grew up in the city and has tried specific types of exotic fruit, and then the person who grew up in the country and never tried it, and then they come into the city as an adult and tries it, and it's just like, oh, it's too unfamiliar, I don't like the taste. That's like the difference between a six sensory and a five sensory. Not to say that people in the country are always five sensory, nothing like that. They can be just as six sensory as city dwellers are. But that's what I'm talking about, is we just have a different type of experience, a different type of feeling in the world than people who haven't woken up to their spiritual senses.